Hello students, I am Kinjal Parmar. Welcome back to the video lecture series of microprocessor and microcontroller. Today we will discuss AVR assembly language. So let's start with assembly language. So this computer is basically work on machine language. So CPU can work only in a binary. It works at very high speed with zeros and ones. So it is quite tedious and slow for humans. However, to deal with zeros and ones in order to program the microcontroller, it is quite difficult for humans to work with digital in terms of zeros and ones only. So a program that consists of zeros and ones is called a machine language. A program that consists of only binary pattern, that means only two symbols, zeros and one, is called machine language. And this in early days, computers and programmers coded programs in a machine language. So computer works on a programs which are on a binary language in a zeros and ones. This zeros and ones program are basically quite difficult to write for a human. Although the hexadecimal system was used as a more efficient way to represent binary number, the process of working in a machine code was still cumbersome for humans. That means it is difficult for programmers to work either in a hexadecimal or in a work for this binary systems. So eventually, assembly language were developed which provide the mnemonics for the machine code instructions plus other features that made programming faster and less prone to the error. Assembly language have a few words that are known as a mnemonics, which are basically a machine code. So this mnemonics contains basically codes or says kind of letters which we can identify easily. As a human, we can identify easily that this types of operations are performed, and each and every mnemonics has respective machine code. So this assembly language were developed which provide mnemonics for machine code instructions and other features that made programming of this microcontroller faster and less prone to error. This assembly language is basically used to design a varieties of programs. The term mnemonics is frequently used to refer the codes and abbreviations that are relatively easy to remember in a assembly language. For example, for addition there is ADD mnemonics used. So this ADD add is relatively very easy to remember. That's why this mnemonic is frequently used for abbreviations, and it is relatively easy to understand and it is relatively easy to remember. To program in assembly language, the programmer must know all the registers of the CPU and the size of each as well other details. So to program in assembly language, programmer must have knowledge of the device. That means for if we want to perform any program on a microcontroller, and if we want to write any program in an assembly language for some microcontroller, so it is necessary for the programmer to know all the details of microcontroller. This assembly language can be translated into machine code by a program called assembler. Assembly language program must be translated into machine code by a program known as an assembler. So first we write a program in a code or says in a mnemonics form, then that mnemonics are converted in a machine code, that means in a 010 form, in a binary form, using this assemblers, such that microcontroller can perform its task. So, in a assembly language, an assembler is used to translate an assembly language program into machine code, and assembly language is referred to as a low-level language because it deals directly with the internal structure of a CPU. Assembly language is referred to as a low-level language because it deals directly with the internal structure of a CPU, or says of a processor. This assembly language structures are consist of series of lines of assembly language instructions. An assembly language program consists of a series of a line of assembly language instructions. That means words, or says lines of series of words, or says lines of mnemonics. This assembly language instructions consist of mnemonics optionally followed by one or two operands. That operands are data items being manipulated, and the mnemonics are the command to the CPU telling it what to do with those items. So in assembly language there is a mnemonics, and with mnemonics there is a one or two operand. So mnemonics says that this operations can be performed on this data. Operand, that means a data, and mnemonics, that means operations, a word for operations to manipulate any kind of data. So in assembly language there is a structure like this. So it consists this four field. In assembly language instructions have four field: a label, then mnemonics, then operand, and then command. This square brackets indicates that these terms are maybe optional. So this bracket indicates that a field is optional and not all lines have them. Bracket should not be typed in. Okay, bracket, whenever we program any kinds of data, or says whenever we write any kinds of program, so it is not necessary to write all the fields. Okay, so bracket indicates that a field is optional and not all the lines have them. So some lines have only mnemonics, some lines has mnemonics and operands, some lines has label, mnemonics and operands. Command is to understand that what kind of operations are performed over here. Okay, so the bracket indicates that a field is optional and not all the lines have them, and it should not be typed when we write a program. So first is assembly language label field. So the label field allows the program to refer to a line of code by name. So label field allows the program to refer a line by a code of given name. Okay, we can use any kinds of labels. So the label field cannot exceed a certain number of characters. Check the assembler for the rules. So depending on the assembler, there may be a criteria to write labels with only 3 letters, or with letters and with numbers. Okay, so there are different criteria for the labels. So the label field cannot exceed a certain number of characters depending on the assembler. This next is assembly language mnemonics field. The assembly language mnemonics and the operand fields together perform the real work for the program and accomplish the task for which the program was written. So this mnemonics are basically a word for to perform operations. Like for addition there is a mnemonics like add, for subtraction there is a mnemonics like sub. Okay, so this kinds of words are used to perform different operations, and using that operations we can design our program. This mnemonics can be either instructions which perform varieties of operations like arithmetic operations, logical operations, compare operations, or data manipulations or data transfer operations, or it can be a pseudo instructions. So this mnemonics can be either operations or either pseudo instructions. So this assembly language mnemonics contains either instructions. So instructions consist of a mnemonics optionally followed by a one or two operands. So in this one or two operands, we can execute varieties of operations, like we can perform a data transfer, then we can perform either data manipulations, or we can control our program. So mnemonics execute various operations on operands such as data transfer. So we have a data transfer instructions, then we have a data manipulation instructions. Data transfer, that means we can transfer data from memory to register, register to memory, memory to memory, or register to register. Okay, then data manipulation, that means we can alter the data like using arithmetic operations or using logical operations. Okay, then we have a mnemonics related to control of this program. So we have a program control instructions. So this instructions, using this kind of program, we can either perform data transfer operations or data manipulations or program control in this assembly language mnemonics field, or we have a mnemonics field in a form of pseudo instructions. So instead of mnemonics and operand, this two field could be contain assembler pseudo instructions or known as directives. So what is pseudo instructions? So this pseudo instructions do not generate any machine codes and are used only by the assembler as opposed to the instructions that are translated into machine code for the CPU to execute. So this pseudo instruction is basically instruction to assembler rather than this manipulations or rather than altering any data. Okay, this pseudo instructions give command to assembler that this kind of operations are going to be performed. So this pseudo instructions can be divided different types. So while the instruction tells CPU what to do, pseudo instruction give direction to the assembler. So instructions like data transfer instructions, data manipulation instructions, program control instructions tells the processor that what to do with this instructions, what to do with this operand, while pseudo instruction give direction to the assembler. This assembly language has next command field. The command field begins with the semicolon indicated by this semicolons. Okay, this command fields may be at the end of a line or on a line by themselves. So command is basically can be written to understand that this kind of operations are performed over here. The assembler ignore the commands, but they are invisible to the program, although commands are optional. Okay, for a program it is necessary to write commands to understand the why this kind of lines are written over here. Okay, so for a programmer it is necessary to write commands, but this comments are optional and assembler ignore these comments. Then this assembly language has next a command field. It is recommended that command field be used to describe the program in a way that it is easier for someone else to read and understand. So this command file be used to describe the program in a simple language. So this assembly language has this kind of structure, and by writing this kind of structure in our own way for our program, we can write a assembly language program. Thank you.